Late Fragment by Raymond Carver. And did you get what you wanted from this life even so? I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. That's the last poem by the essayist and short story and poet Raymond Carver. In the last book of poetry he ever published, the last page, as he was dying of cancer. And it's been a favorite of mine for a long time, and a favorite of my brother's. My brother Greg, who passed away May 1st, 2008, from pancreatic cancer. But he got to be beloved, and he knew it. In the end, he'd had a life of early life of alcoholism and drug abuse and loneliness and anger, and that was early. That was, he had cancer when he was 36, melanoma, metastasized melanoma. Wasn't expected to live, but he did. And he was married, and he had a little boy, and he didn't die. And he led a happier life. He got sober. He worked in AA. He worked in hospice. And he had a lot to do with my growing up, 11 years older than I, but I got to know him better than my dad in many ways. And over the years, he gave me my first guitar. He gave me a lot of records and things to listen to, a lot of books. And so we shared a lot of common interests, and one of them was the work of Raymond Carver. So when Greg passed after living 18 months with cancer, that he wasn't expected to live that long that second time. He was in his mid-50s, and he started to understand that people really did love him and care about him and appreciate the things that he did for them, both in AA and just in his daily life and the stories he told. He was quite a storyteller. But this piece, Late Fragment, has become a core of my own life practice and journey. And so if you came here because you got one of these or one of these, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about why I do it. Because I make these and I give them away now, and it's kind of a little, I guess it's a little spiritual meditation. It's a way to have something like this on a chain or in my pocket or on a little loop. And but if it's just in my pocket with coins, I might pull the money out, and I get this little reminder in my hand. And I look inside, and I look to see how beloved I feel, and how present I feel to that at that moment. And sometimes it reminds me, not to belittle my life with not being good enough, not being worthy, and not being a miracle. I love ordinary life, and I kind of stand for the reclamation of ordinary and the protection of ordinary from the cult of extraordinary that's in our culture now. But to be beloved shouldn't be extraordinary. It should be what we all get to experience. We shouldn't have to wait till we die for people to talk nice about us and talk about our gifts. We should get to give and receive that during our lives. So this poem talks about to call myself beloved, and then to feel myself, to feel it. And I think if we can know that, if any one person even can let us know, whether it's our parents or family members or spouse or children, can let us know too that we're as beloved to them as they are to us. To really know that, to have someone say, I am so glad you're here. And And I don't want to live in a world without you. I'm just so glad you're here, and I'm glad I get to be here with you. And there's nothing else that we need to figure out. There's nothing that anybody has to prove. No one has to earn their acceptance. No one has to have the right credentials to be loved. And we sure as heck don't have to perform a certain way or have extraordinary superhero gifts and performance in the world to be beloved. And to feel that we know we are beloved in our community, in our family. And I think that can heal a lot of what's hurting in us, because our culture tells us you're not good enough. Pema Chodron and others have said self-improvement is often an act of violence against oneself. And I think when self-improvement is happening in response to deficiency, working on my deficiencies so that I can be more accepted, so that I can belong. The belonging part and the beloved part is part of an ordinary life. So I've talked enough about this. I'll probably trim it down to size. But that's what I wanted you to know. And I hope that in your life, you can call yourself beloved and feel yourself beloved on the earth. Now. Not after you're gone. Not when people talk about you later, but now. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you came by. And I wish you well.